Goodmorning Grenada. Missy Chrissy in your company, and this is K105 Classic 105.5 FM, as well as GBN TV. We're also linking up with Hot FM, but I just like this song in the background. It's called I Can by Chronics. I think it's just the best song to start your day with. Such a positive affirmation right there. I can. Lift up my eyes to this, I'm blessed. And we're linking up with Gary, Mr. Smooth. Good morning to ya. All right, so we are definitely getting into our program for this morning. We're getting into our program for this morning. We have so much coming up for you. Lots of great conversations, but most importantly, we want to start off by giving you the update from the Ministry of Health. This update is dated the 8th of June, so we have an update that came out yesterday, so we're back on schedule. As of the 8th of June yesterday, there were 27 new confirmed cases, 5 hospitalizations, 3 moderately ill, 1 severely ill, and 1 critically ill. There were 285 tests done yesterday, a test positivity rate of 9.5%, 0 new deaths, and 58 new recoveries. Active cases stand at 281 for Grenada as of yesterday, the 8th of June, 2022. That was your update. Compliments the Ministry of Health and Social Security as it relates to COVID-19, all right? So that is it. We're moving into the word of the day. The word of the day is evanescent. Evanescent. And that means something that is evanescent vanishes quickly like a vapor. We're going to use evanescent in a sentence, but let me just spell it for you. It is EVANESCENT. Evanescent. Now let's use evanescent in a sentence. The joy of winning the last game was evanescent as the team quickly turned its focus to the upcoming championships. And just to have it in some context, in both cases, Villadrish made you feel just how extraordinary it is to capture something as evanescent as a personality in a painting. And that was a quotation by Will Heinrich and the New York Times as of the 25th of March, 2022. So evanescent is the word of the day. Find a way to use evanescent in a sentence, all right? So that is a good one. Now we're moving over into the thoughts of the day. I just want to check in and see if Gary, Mr. Smooth, is on the line with us. Good morning, Gary.
Morning, Missy. How you doing?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. I forgot my headphones today, so I can't hear you unless I turn off my mic, just FYI.
Oh, well, someone please get a headphone to Missy.
Thank you so much. Now, let's move into the thoughts of the day, and we have Gary, Mr. Smooth, on the line joining us. So let's do it.
Your thought of the day, only you should change. Only you should change your life. No one will do it for you. As simple and as probably as cliche this may sound, I think this rings so true in the lives of many of us that we sit down and we expect someone to do it for us, and we blame other people for our life and for who we might turn out to be. Only you can do it. No one else can do it for you. All right. So your thought of the day. I hope that guides you through your day today.
Yeah, I like that one for sure. I think so many people always say, oh, I have to do this, I had to go to the gym, I had to start working out, I had to stop eating this, I had to work on this project, and never really do it as if they're waiting for someone else to get it done for them. So it's so important to remember that you're the one to make that difference. Now, did you know you can't read in a dream? Because reading and dreaming are functions of different sides of the brain, which don't cooperate during dreams. That is so interesting. I never knew this. So you can't dream because you can't read and dream at the same time, which is very interesting. I mean, I'm trying to think back of all the dreams and if I was ever reading in a dream. I know I definitely solved an equation in a dream back when I was doing CXC and GCE. I remember I had additional mathematics was definitely my favorite subject, and I threw myself into it. And I was working hard, studying, practicing, and I couldn't figure out the formula. But I fell asleep and somehow figured out the dream in my sleep. Has that ever happened to you, Gary?
My question to you was, did you actually figure it out? Was it the correct? Did you get it right?
I got it right.
As a result of the dream?
Absolutely right.
Wow.
Yeah, I figured out the entire formula, like how to work it. Because, when you're doing formulas, you have to figure out certain things, how to work it. And I literally figured it out in the dream.
A lot of people would wish that they could dream the answer to a lot of things in life, If many people can dream the answer to a lot of things, I think a lot of people would be in a different place today, a different position in life. Well, good for you. I've never dreamed that, anyways, not that I can recall. I never dreamed that I was reading. So I can't really say, this is true or false. We just have to take it at face value.
Yeah, indeed. Well, it sounds like it's based in science, though. So I'm not going to dispute that one at all.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Dream is powerful, isn't it?
Yes.
You know what is powerful is deja vu.
Tell us, what exactly is deja vu for those of our listeners wondering?
Well, the way I interpret it is that, have you ever dreamed of being either in a certain place or in a conversation with someone, and then maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 years later, you find yourself in that very same place or same conversation with the same people? Has that ever happened to you?
Most definitely. I think for me, how I would describe a deja vu moment is when I'm experiencing something in live time, so I'm in the moment, but then I have some sort of realization that I've experienced it before. Whether it is the sights, the sounds, the smells, but it's just a feeling, right? And how I interpret this is a reminder somehow that I'm in the right place, I'm on the right path. And that's how I interpret my deja vu moments.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. But yeah, those deja vu moments kind of like, it's amazing. It's a feel-good kind of moment too. It's a mysterious kind of moment too. It's like, I know I've been here before. I've had that moment, that experience before. And I've had it for me, speaking, in a dream. You know what I mean? It's like nature has a way of placing you in the right place at the right time, it seems sometimes. That's how I interpret it. It's all good though.
Definitely. Now we have to get into the riddle for today. I know so many people are excited for that one. Gary, what do you have for us?
Okay, the riddle for today. Should we do a giveaway today? If we should do a giveaway today. Yesterday, congratulations to the person who won yesterday. They won themselves a dinner for two at the Grill Master. Okay, now we can only do a few giveaways, compliments Grill Master in any given week. Yeah, so maybe we should do one today again, since today's Thursday. We're gonna do another one, okay? So this morning's riddle comes to you courtesy of our friends at the Grill Master, located down there on Wall Street, where you can always pop in for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this morning's riddle, you ready for it? How do you spell candy in 2 letters? I want you to think about this one. How do you spell candy in 2 letters? Try and figure it out, friends.
That one is a tricky one for sure. Tricky.
Yeah. So you guys may need some time to wrap this one around your head a bit and possibly come up with the correct answer. How do you spell candy with 2 letters?
Yeah, so I think what we'll do this morning is take the phone calls, so you can actually call us. The number is 435-2041, and I know, Gary, you're glued into what's going on Facebook, so you can always keep us updated on that one as well.
I'm logging in as we speak into Facebook as we speak right now. Yeah, so let's do this. Oh, your WhatsApp is down in your end, right?
I didn't say that.
Oh, my bad. Carry on.
The phone lines are already buzzing, so let's take this one. Good morning, you're live on Good Morning Grenada. So it's so important, remember to listen to us on the telephone and not on the TV or radio, all right?
Yeah.
Good morning, you're live.
Good morning. My name is Kelly and answer is C and Y.
What did you say the answer was?
C and Y.
Gary, you're gonna have to tell us if that's correct or not.
He says the answer is C and Y. You know what? What's your name?
Kelly Charles.
Kelly. You are absolutely correct. How did you figure that out? How did you figure that out? You must be a really smart child.
Thank you.
And Kaylee's blushing all over, eh? All right, congratulations to you, Kaylee. The answer is indeed C and Y. All right, that's Kaylee there for you. So what you gonna do, Kaylee? You've just won yourself dinner for 2 at the Grill Master. So you're gonna take mommy with you, right? Or you can take your brother, or you can take daddy. All right?
I'll take mommy.
There you go. Mommy always gets the treats, all right? Thanks a lot, Kaylee. Have a blessed day today, and congratulations. What's your last name, Kaylee?
Charles.
Kaylee Charles. And congratulations once again. All right, you've just won yourself dinner for 2 at the Grill Master. You like to eat, Kaylee?
Yes, I love to eat.
Yeah, what do you prefer? Chicken, steak, beef, turkey?
Yes.
You like all of them? Okay. You want you're gonna eat all of them. It doesn't matter. Have a blessed morning and have a great day at school today, Kaylee.
Same to you.
All right, blessed. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Kaylee Charles, she's just won herself dinner for 2, answering the riddle correctly. How do you spell candy in 2 letters? And correct is right. Miss, you there?
I am here.
That was one day.
Yeah, I have to make sure that I'm hearing you, so of course I'm floating in between, all right?
All right. Yeah, man. So congratulations to Kaylee Charles.
Congratulations to Kaylee Charles. Thank you so much for joining us and calling in. We're going to get ready for the morning edition of the news. Stay tuned with us when we come back. It's all about the updates in the news.
Good evening. This is GBN's News at 7. Thank you for joining us. A family is left to depend on family, friends, and well-wishers to assist them after their home with their possessions was destroyed by fire on Wednesday afternoon.
Another tragedy for a family in the south of the island. Yet another family's home went up in flames Wednesday afternoon in the Grandans Valley area. The wall and board structure is in close proximity to where another home was burnt just about 3 months ago. When GBN arrived on the scene, firemen were busy at work trying to contain the blaze. However, all the family belongings were destroyed. The owners of the home were too distressed to speak as they looked on bewildered about what was left of their home. Ezra Williams was one of the first to spring into action, doing what he can to avoid fire from spreading to nearby homes.
And then I saw the smoke from the kitchen, right, because I live up on that side. So then now I didn't think anything of it because I know the lady father, he does be, but then fires and things. So I didn't really think anything of it. But then now my mom that came outside now, she was like, yo, Miss Laurel house burning down. So then I was like, I was in my boxers, so then like I threw my pants and my slippers and then I rushed down here. So when I was young now, I call out my partner name because he live in here too. So I was like, yo, Arnold. I ain't no answer, so I know nobody in a home. You know what I mean? So then I tried to help Mr. Brown, like the grandfather. I tried to help him organize a hose to like save this house here, you know, to like wet it a bit so, you know, the heat wouldn't really, you know, affect, you know. So, yeah.
Houses in close proximity were affected by the fire. Christelina John, GBN News.
Grenadians await the publishing of the final voters list for the June 23rd general elections. Officials say they have received several claims and objections that are being investigated. More in this report from Rena Pierre-Thomas.
Grenadians had 7 days to object or make any claims such as the misspelling of names or to point out individuals who passed away or any other errors within the list. That window of opportunity closed on Tuesday. Supervisor of Election Elvis Moraine said a number of objections and claims were received in various constituencies.
Those claims as of yesterday, based on a report reaching us, because it's not at that level yet, we know that we received some objections. I say objections/claims. St. George's Northeast, we had some there. It bordered around 60. St. John is the other place that seemed to have quite a few. I think it's about 70 something based on the last count. And we have outside of that, but is not significant in terms of numbers.
Moraine explains that they are now in the process of looking into these claims in order to provide a more updated and accurate list.
The officers are now doing the investigation, putting out the required notice, of objection or claim so that we can move forward in this process. While we do this also, we are focusing also because within that period, we have seen some objection, some observation. As we look at the debt list, we're also refining that as well. So these are the major activities as we prepare for our final list, the publication of our official consolidated list for election.
The supervisor of elections believes that more can be done if only persons file claims at an earlier time.
I just want to say though, that I would like to see that kind of level of involvement way before elections, because it allows us to do the requisite investigation and to really attend to the objection or the claim. So I want to appeal to the public that this is not a one-time event. That's not an event that is just a focus around elections, but for us to see the need for us to continuously do that every time of publication. As a matter of fact, you can object at any time.
The final voters list will be published before June 20th, the day when police officers are scheduled to cast their ballots. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
The Parliamentary Elections Office is putting all measures in place to ensure a smooth process for general elections. And that includes preparing those who are putting themselves forward for office.
Officials from the Electoral Office will be meeting with all candidates for the June 23rd election on Thursday, June 9th, to update them on the upcoming general election and educate first-time candidates on what to expect on Election Day.
So we meet all candidates on Thursday, that's tomorrow. There we meet all the candidates, which we are going to update them as to what, are the expectations, as well as to detail to them the requirements relative to the agents.
Supervisor of Elections Elvis Moraine also explains that within that time, candidates will also be informed of other candidates whose vote will need to be transferred to the constituency they are running for.
It happens when the candidate, in other words, the candidate wants to vote for himself. So you're running in a constituency where you are not residing. So that's what it is. So the candidate now, to cast the vote for himself, he must make that application. And when that is done, it's not secret, because it means that for his vote or her vote is transferred to that constituency, so he voted once. So therefore, that is why for transparency, we must inform. And we must inform the presiding returning officer in the constituency to which that particular candidate is registered.
Meanwhile, voter and civic registration officer Mr. Ferdinand Phillip assures the public that efforts are being made to ensure that the 2022 general election will run smoothly.
Already we have begun for quite some time now the training of our election officials, and these are namely our presiding officers, our poll clerks, and our marshals. These are the principal persons, especially the presiding officer and poll clerk, who will maintain order at the various polling stations on election day. So training is an ongoing process with them, and we, as per usual, we tend to look, we do a synopsis of what happened in our last general elections, and we build upon that.
Philip also pointed out that officers will be deployed at each polling station on the island. The voter and the civic registration officer and the supervisor of the elections were speaking at this week's post-cabinet briefing. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
Trade unions representing workers at the T.A. Maryshow Community College say they will not relent until government pays workers their outstanding increments and address salary increases at the institution.
Money running nice all over the place. Yes. So pay us our dark salary. Yes. And we calling upon the government of Grenada to honor the pension before the election. Yes.
No pension. No pension.
No.
When we the working every day.
The Grenada Union of Teachers and the Public Workers Union entered the ministerial complex on Wednesday, protesting outside the Ministry of Education building with some employees at the T.A. Maryshow Community College for salary increase that spanned 10 years.
We're asking people to rally with us.
Oh, yeah.
Hear our cry.
Oh, yeah.
I tell the crying. Hear my cry, oh Lord.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how we going. Hear my cry, oh Lord.
It's been weeks since this protest began, and President of the GUT, Jude Bartholomew, says they won't relent until these increments are paid.
Pension before the election. Dark salary. Before the election. Pension. Pension. Before the election. Pension. Before the election. Dark salary. Before the election. Regularization. Before the election. Regularization. Before the election. Upgrades. Before the election. Dam city payments.
Public Relations Officer of the PWU, Daisy Hazard, says without consultation or notice, deposits were made into some workers' accounts.
What was very insulting to workers last week, was when workers realized one day that some monies were placed into their accounts and that came from the TMCC. There was no discussion with the government, with the unions. There was no discussions with the workers, and we are in the middle of an industrial process. But somehow somebody believed that that little money that was pelted into the workers' accounts would have probably caused them to scale back the action. It cannot. Reason being because most of the workers who are here protesting, they are not owed increments. All of the workers have maxed out. They are at the top of their scales, and for the last 10 years they have received no salary increases.
With the June 23rd general elections fast approaching, Hazard says it is public officers who are working hard to ensure government ministers get their paid pensions and gratuities.
Meanwhile, they are collecting salaries, they are collecting pensions, they are collecting gratuities. Across government ministries right now, in accounts departments, our workers, public workers, are working feverishly to prepare gratuities for every politician save two.
The departure of Oliver Joseph overseas for medical assistance was also a stark reminder for the protesters.
Can we fly out to get eye surgery? No! If we come down sick right this minute, where do we have to go? Some of that money that you're using for your concrete, bring it to TMCC and pay the workers. Do we want popcorn? No! Do we want popcorn in Grenada? When our young people work hard and they raise funds and they sell cake and ice cream, should they be buying popcorn? No!
Reporting for GBN News, Beverly Tellisford.
Deacon Mitchell is opening the arms of the National Democratic Congress to the 14 candidates of the new National Party. More in this Rena Pierre-Thomas report.
Political leader of the National Democratic Congress, Deacon Mitchell, made a clarion call to the 14 candidates of the new National Party to join the NDC. Addressing party supporters on Sunday in Progress Park, St. Andrew, the NDC leader says it is clear that their leader has no confidence in them as he is unable to find a successor among his team.
So to my dear brothers and sisters of the not-so-new National Party, I respectfully ask all of you, all 13 of you who are left, to leave the gentleman, to say goodbye to him, and to come on board and join the future of P.T. Matic, Carriacou, and Grenada. And let us all work together in unity to move Grenada forward.
The political leader, who was launching his 4 candidates in the parish of St. Andrew, reminded the NMP candidates and his supporters of Dr. Mitchell's statement on nomination day surrounding his successor.
Not only has he told you that he has no confidence in them, even on nomination day, it is reputed that he said somebody had to come from outside the party to lead the party.
If he is no longer the leader of the NDC, the young Mitchell says there are leaders among his team to take his place. He explains that if a leader has no confidence in his team to lead, how can he expect others to have that assurance?
You will never hear this Mitchell say, I ain't see nobody who could take over, run, lead, and manage the National Democratic Congress. So the question for you is this: if he has no confidence in them, why should you elect them back as members of Parliament for your constituency?
For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre-Thomas reporting.
One of the oldest Catholic church buildings in Grenville is now a public threat. Selena John spoke to all parties about this concern.
The ruins of the St. Andrew Roman Catholic Church, referred to as the Old Church Building, located on Cook Hill Road, St. Andrew, still stand tall. However, in recent days, many passers-by have been openly expressing concerns for public safety. Over the last few weeks, there were reports that the structure continues to slowly cave in. Head of the Catholic Church, Bishop Clyde Harvey, who has been in Grenada for the past 5 years, says the Catholic Church is a historical site, and so it takes a bit of analysis before a conclusion is reached on whether it should be demolished or not.
One, I've already asked for, because this only was drawn to my attention yesterday, so I've already asked for an evaluation of the structure to be done. If that evaluation says the building must be torn down, that is a danger to life and limb, then a historical building like that cannot be just torn down. We have to get permission from the relevant authorities. We have to get police and so on involved in the process. But all I can say at this point in time is we are, as far as I'm concerned, on top of the issue that has now been brought to light again. We will do whatever has to be done in the light of the proper evaluation that we get. And meanwhile, all I can say to people who live in that area, be careful how you function around it.
With two schools in close proximity, the St. Andrew's School for Special Education and the Grenville Pre-Primary School, people are calling on the relevant authority for the demolition of the structure. To this, Bishop Harvey adds,
if it is in fact a threat to the safety of children, then that means a broader discussion has to take place. I have already instructed that some things must be done to make it more obvious to people that it may be a danger to life and limb.
The church was built back on April 4th, 1841. In its present deteriorated state, it holds much significance to the town of Grenville, oftentimes acting like a famous landmark. Before being constructed at its present location, the first Catholic church was located in Marquis, St. Andrew. It was the vision of Father Angelo Leone, the first parish priest, who decided to relocate the church to the foundation on which it now sits. The Catholic Church Bishop highlighted some of the artifacts that still lie within the ruins that holds historic significance.
In it myself on one or two occasions, because people are constantly asking about the plaques that are in it. There are some historical plaques that are there that are really of very great historical value. I was very struck by that. I have been told up to now is that if things like plaques and so on can remain in the original place, that is where they should be kept, right? If for one reason or another they cannot remain in that place, then they should be removed to a place where they will be honored for what they are.
The building was decommissioned as a place of worship back in 1915 due to mosquito infestation. It was then used to house a primary school in 1972 and again abandoned for a second time. According to reports, $3 million was made available by the European Union for restoration projects on the island back in 1995. However, this particular project never got off the ground. GBN sought to find out what happened with the funds from Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Robertson told GBN there was some administrative work to be done that was not done. However, this was not on the part of government. She said because of this, the funding for the project was lost. The organization that held an interest in this restoration project was the St. Andrews Development Organization, SEDU. President of the organization, Ryan Charles, told our news desk that the present executive cannot speak to the funds that were allocated for the project. He indicated that all they were told is that it was placed in a consolidated fund, and that's as much as he can say. Chrislina John, GBN News.
One supermarket in St. Andrew was robbed on Tuesday night. Up to news time, details were not given that indicate if it was items or cash stolen from the business place. Corporal Quadina Douglas McLean, attached to the Communities Relation Department of the RGPF, says one suspect is presently in police custody, assisting officers with their investigation.
So at approximately 7:40 p.m. last night, our 911 dispatchers, they received an information about an armed robbery that occurred at a business establishment at Hope St. Andrew. Thankfully, during that incident, no one was injured. And at present, we are actively investigating that matter. In fact, we have one suspect in custody, and we are working on that matter. And as it progresses, we will provide updates.
And now we turn our attention to what's been creating a buzz on social media. Rena Pierre-Thomas has been looking around the platforms.
GBN Social Buzz is reaching beyond the local platform to share with you what's trending on social media. We browse the World Wide Web and bring to you the topics inciting the most reaction and debate among users. On Tuesday, GBN featured Dr. Pierre Play Park, the newest addition to the Quarantine Point Park. The Rotary Club of Grenada transformed the Quarantine Point Park into a more family-friendly environment, thanks to the generosity of Dr. Marian Pierre, who has donated her birthday gift of $100,000 toward the park.
I'm not a Rotarian, but I've always been involved with them. And they started this wasteland, as I call it. There was nothing going on in Quarantine Point. And they took this over and have made it. If anybody had...
Good morning, Grenada. It is 5 minutes after 7 o'clock in the morning time. It is Thursday, a lovely Thursday. And it is the 9th of June, 2022, in case you need to head up or anything. We have Gary Mr. Smooth with us as well, linking up with Hot FM.
Yes, indeed. Well, I'm here. Good morning, everybody. It's a rainy day today, boy.
Oh, it's raining outside?
Cats and dogs.
What?
Yeah, I know you can't hear a thing in this.
Well, I could hear the rain by you.
Yeah.
I could definitely hear the rain by you.
It's definitely pouring down, boy.
Oh, wow.
Nowhere else.
Well, we need the rain, because the earth has been quite dry to the point where there's peace trees just drying up and breaking by me. So
when you see peace trees drying up, you know we have a problem.
Yeah. Like literally one of the peace trees broke yesterday and then fell on top of some of my ornamental plants, so it's I have to fix that situation.
Huge of a peace tree to have damaged your plants.
Yeah, man. But I mean,
that's some big peace tree.
I mean, it was a nice size. But y'all, we're getting back into it. Of course, we had the riddle for the day. We already had our winner for this morning, Kaylee. So big up to yourself. I know you're enjoying that one.
Yeah, man, big up to Kaylee.
We want to head into some details of what's been happening. We love keeping you updated right here on Good Morning Grenada. So Gary, what's happening?
Well, big up to the folks inside of Grenville area, St. Andrew area. There is that old church in that area there that it's been a site for sore eyes, and there's now concerns for the safety of the people in the area and people passing by. So there is talk of demolishing that building. It's a historical building. So there is a lot of hesitancy to do that. You understand? For the reason that it is a historical.
Yeah, I definitely love to see it restored, not necessarily demolished, but restored would be nice. I'm not gonna lie. I have always imagined doing an event in that building. Yeah.
With money tight these days, it might be cheaper to just get rid of it, eh?
I know, but it's it has. It's.
I wonder what the people in the community. I wonder what's their feeling. Get rid of it. Restore it. It seems to be chipping out, like it's gonna fall.
Right.
You understand? That arching area there, not necessarily arching, but that peak, top of the building there seems to be at risk of falling apart.
Yeah, so safety is really important.
Yeah, it's sad though. Let's take a look at the clip, and when we come back, we continue with more talking points. It's Good Morning Grenada.
St. Andrew Roman Catholic Church, referred to as the Old Church Building, located on Cook Hill Road, St. Andrew, still stand tall. However, in recent days, many passers-by have been openly expressing concerns for public safety. Over the last few weeks, there were reports that the structure continues to slowly cave in. Head of the Catholic Church, Bishop Clyde Harvey, who has been in Grenada for the past 5 years, says the Catholic Church is a historical site, and so it takes a bit of analysis before a conclusion is reached on whether it should be demolished or not.
One, I've already asked for, because this only was drawn to my attention yesterday, so I've already asked for an evaluation of the structure to be done. If that evaluation says the building must be torn down, that is a danger to life and limb, then a historical building like that cannot be just torn down. We have to get permission from the relevant authorities. We have to get police and so on involved in the process. But all I can say at this point in time is we are, as far as I'm concerned, on top of the issue that has now been brought to light again. We will do whatever has to be done in the light of the proper evaluation that we get. And meanwhile, all I can say to people who live in that area, be careful how you function around it.
With two schools in close proximity, the St. Andrew's School for Special Education and the Grenville Pre-Primary School, people are calling on the relevant authority for the demolition of the structure. To this, Bishop Harvey adds,
if it is in fact a threat to the safety of children, then that means a broader discussion has to take place. I have already instructed that some things must be done to make it more obvious to people that it may be a danger to life and limb.
The church was built back on April 4, 1841. In its present deteriorated state, it holds much significance to the town of Grenville, oftentimes acting like a famous landmark. Before being constructed at its present location, the first Catholic church was located in Marquis, St. Andrew. It was the vision of Father Angelo Leone, the first parish priest, who decided to relocate the church to the foundation on which it now sits. The Catholic Church bishop highlighted some of the artifacts that still lie within the ruins that holds historic significance.
Been in it myself on one or two occasions because people are constantly asking about the plaques that are in it. There are some historical plaques that are there that are really of very great historical value. I was very struck by that. I have been told up to now is that if things like plaques and so on can remain in the original place, that is where they should be kept, right? If for one reason or another they cannot remain in that place, then they should be removed to a place where they will be honored for what they are.
The building was decommissioned as a place of worship back in 1915 due to mosquito infestation. It was then used to house a primary school in 1972 and again abandoned for a second time. According to reports, $3 million was made available by the European Union for restoration projects on the island back in 1995. However, this particular project never got off the ground. GBN sought to find out what happened with the funds from Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Robertson told GBN there was some administrative work to be done that was not done. However, this was not on the part of government. She said because of this, the funding for the project was lost. The organization that held an interest in this restoration project was the St. Andrews Development Organization, SEDU. President of the organization, Ryan Charles, told our news desk that the present executive cannot speak to the funds that were allocated for the project. He indicated that all they were told is that it was placed in a consolidated fund, and that's as much as he can say. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Very interesting right there. Very, very interesting.
$1 million, boy?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, and you see, I think the bishop is saying something similar to what I'm saying, is that you can't just take something away. You have to really analyze it, preserve if you can, but if it really presents some sort of risk.
I don't get a sense of urgency, though, because looking at a building, You can tell it is. It looks like it's about to fall apart any time. So I don't get that sense of urgency. But looking at the building, there seems to be an urgent need to do something to protect the safety of the people passing to and fro. And I don't get that sense of urgency. I don't know about you, Missy.
Urgency in terms of?
Something needs to be done ASAP.
Oh, okay.
Like, it seems to be like, well, we have to go through the red tape. We have to do this.
Oh, you're saying that you think it needs to be urgently addressed, and you're not seeing that?
No, it's not that I'm not seeing. I don't. In listening to the tone, especially of the bishop, I'm not feeling that sense of urgency.
But I think urgency or not, I mean, you still have to do something properly. You know what I mean? And to me, he sounds, like he's speaking from a place of being very strategic with it, because at the end of the day, it is a historical building. You can't just say, okay, let's demolish it. You still need to go through certain channels, and it's not his personal house. This is
at risk. Come on now.
Was that?
Why people's lives at risk? We're going to be concerned about a historic building.
But that's the thing. He said there's an assessment to be done. So do we know how much of the risk it presents? Those are things that need to be in black and white after an assessment. So I don't know. I don't know that,
you see, the culture in Grenada is when something happens, then we go do something. That's the culture in Grenada. That's my concern, that something like that does not.
But have you done a risk assessment there to know that it's that serious?
I can look at it based on the picture, and pictures can be deceiving. Y'all, keep that in mind. Pictures can be deceiving. The picture as shown on that clip we played, it looks like it's in dire need of attention.
Right. Yeah.
It is dangerously falling apart.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. I only just drive by, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think what caught me was that Chris Lena was saying in the report that they stopped using it initially because of a mosquito infestation.
What is that?
I'm sorry.
Is that such a problem?
I feel bad for laughing, but how bad was this mosquito infection back in the early 90s?
It's like, let's go get rescued. You know what I'm saying?
Is it that we didn't know how to solve mosquito issues back then?
But hey,
I know it's close to the sea, but
we came from an era where there were dinosaurs, T-Rex, and those things that have then, thankfully, are now extinct, if they ever existed. But that's a story and a discussion for another time.
We have a caller.
We don't know to the size of those mosquitoes back then.
We don't know. Good morning, caller. You're live on Good Morning Grenada.
Good morning, Chrissy and Mr. Smooth. Chrissy, the old church, what is referred to as the old church in Grenville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speak up, caller. We can't hear you.
I said the issue with the old church in Grenville. I live in Grenville. And as the clip mentioned a while ago, in the conversation, that years gone by, organizations like the European Union allocate a sum of money for the restoration. Listen to me carefully. Does that sum of money for the restoration by the Grenadian people, remember, externally we get the cash, or we get the money, to the Grenadian people. Tell me something. Is it justified that today there is a threat to the life and limb in the community? The very said people in the community and the nation as a whole who should be looking at these issues, it reached to the point now where at that position that it is said that is a threat to human safety. This is the kind of mentality that we have as a people. Where are we going? Are we growing? Are we thinking? Are we reasoning? Chrissy, sometimes I admire a little bit of you. And I appreciate perhaps if you can go a little further and a little deeper towards investigative journalism. Because you come on the radio every day, and whatever conversation, it would have impact on the thinking or the mindset of people. And light need to be shared. Have a great one. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Fakala, for your contribution. Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, that's interesting. That said money from the European, was it the European Union, was it? You know, in the report earlier on, and the press secretary, I think, alluded to the fact that at one hand, you get the impression that the money was distributed, it was disbursed, and on the other hand, I understand that because of administrative, or the lack of administrative work, that money was not brought forward, that the money was not realized. So I'm not too sure really what is the truth and what is the reality as far as that is concerned. But and this gentleman is calling from Grenville, so he firsthand knows of the danger with regard to that building. But looking on from the picture, I could just tell you, he looks very ominous. Very.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's move on. We're talking about structures. I see that another fire happened in the Grand Anse area. A house was totally destroyed with everything in it. The homeowner was a little too distraught to speak, and we have a clip of that.
Yeah, let's go to that.
Yet another family's home went up in flames Wednesday afternoon in the Grand Anse Valley area. The wall and board structure is in close proximity to where another home was burnt just about 3 months ago. When GBN arrived on the scene, firemen were busy at work trying to contain the blaze. However, all the family belongings were destroyed. The owners of the home were too distressed to speak as they looked on bewildered about what was left of their home. Ezra Williams was one of the first to spring into action, doing what he can to avoid fire from spreading to nearby homes.
And then I saw the smoke from the kitchen, right, because I live on that side. So then now I didn't think anything of it because I know the lady father, he does be burning fires and things. So I didn't really think anything of it. But then now my mom that came outside now, she was like, yo, Miss Laurel house burning down. So then I was like, I was in my boxers, so then like I threw my pants and my slippers, and then I rushed down here. So when I rushed down now, I call out my partner name because he lives in there too. I was like, yo, Arnold, I ain't no answer, so I know nobody in the home. You know what I mean? So then I tried to help Mr. Brown, like the grandfather. I tried to help him organize a hose to like save this house here, you know, to like wet it a bit so, you know, the heat won't really, you know, affect, you know. So, yeah.
Houses in close proximity were affected by the fire. Christelina John, GBN News.
Yeah, definitely feel it for these people, man. It's like a homeowner's worst nightmare. To come home and have your entire house destroyed by fire and everything in it. It's like, that's a homeowner's worst nightmare. I really feel it for these people. And I hope that, of course, they get help. The authorities see it fit to intervene.
Mm-hmm. Definitely empathize, with the family. And we're seeing that there's another fire. It means that there was one before as well.
No, but in another fire in the Grand Anse area. You know, there was a fire in the Grand. Oh, you probably might not have been in Grenada at the time. Yeah. There was a fire in the Grand Anse area not too long ago, just at the start of the election season, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, so
a big melee and bacchanal ensued because, you know, Andy Williams jumped in to give help to the family, and another caretaker of the other caretaker, I think it was of the NMP, you know, they were vying for. So a little melee and bacchanal took place with that too, you know what I mean? So some are saying that they didn't give NMP a chance to really help before the thing happened. They jump forward, you know what I mean? Anyhow, different story for a different time. I'm just getting up to speed, Missy. It's getting you up to speed. So.
Thank you. I mean, it's not just me, but more so our listeners to ensure that they're updated as to what's been going on. But I think, fire safety is something we really have to pay attention to, not just because this has happened, but it's been happening quite often, I find, in the last few months. Over the last year, we've been hearing about loads of fires. And sometimes we tend to say, oh, the fire truck can reach in time. That's a whole other story. But I think there is something that we can do ourselves in terms of ensuring that we're preventing fires. I don't know what the cause of this fire was. It wasn't mentioned in the news clip, but I don't know if we can think about, smoke alarms is one of the ways we can start ensuring that, that's part of the process when it comes to building homes, approving homes for being built, not just business places or hotels, but I think maybe it's something we need to enact on a domestic front. Is that something that you think would be viable?
Well, we, like you alluded, we do not know the cause of the fire, and we don't know what a smoke detector is going to do. A smoke detector only helps when the fire gets started, by something that takes time to really ignite. But if there is any, let's say something that explodes, all right, in the house that immediately starts to engulf the house, then a smoke detector, very little that would help. But definitely, there's a concern of the number of fires that is taking place, and we do reach out. There was one in I think it was in the Grenville area over a couple weekends ago. There were a couple fires in the Grenville area, and there was this gentleman who lost his whole business not too long ago because of fire.
Let's see what this caller has to say. Good morning, you're live on Good Morning Grenada.
Yeah, good morning, Christy. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
Not bad at all. I think what happened is sometimes we take for granted when we leave in our house, we leave appliances on and so forth. So I think most of the time the best thing to do is do a ring check. Get rid of, make sure anything you were using, make sure it's properly off, do your switches off and everything. That could be a way of preventing something heating up and then a fire takes place and nobody's home and they'll lose everything. So I think that is something probably could be advised or could be looked at. Because most times fire only takes place if you leave something that is live and it heats up and nobody is there to look after it. And then, so I think that could be one of the things could be highlighted, that people make sure all the appliances is off. You'll have a fridge, but the rest of the appliances that you've been using, you take it off. There is something, Chrissy, good morning, for you now. I know you don't know who's speaking, but there is somebody who would like to speak to you. Somebody you know years ago. Hold on.
Hey, what is this?
Good morning, Chrissy and Grenada.
Good morning. Who are we speaking to?
It's Maxine.
Hey, Maxine.
Hi.
You reach.
I reached there. Finally, after 5 years, finally allow us.
Listen,
we did to come down and have a little bit of Grenada.
Amazing. We're going on the beach tomorrow, right? So we'll organize.
Well, I'm hoping this rain lets up a little bit.
Awesome. So I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much for calling.
Take care.
All right, nice. That just made my morning. Oh my gosh. All right. I know everybody's like, who is this Maxine? No. Oh my gosh, Maxine is my best friend from secondary school who lives abroad. So she just reached, she just landed, so
Yeah, well, that caller a while ago spoke of some of the incendiary devices that might be within your household that you have to be cautious about. So
yeah,
homeowners, indeed, I do admonish you to be cautious of these things. Make sure your cylinder is off and those things.
That would definitely prevent electrical fires. I mean, there's different types of fires as well. And I know when you hear some of the stories, you hear a lot of fires being caused by, like the caller said, negligence in a sense, not forgetting something on the stove or some sort of electrical fire. So we have to pay attention to those. We have another caller on the line. Good morning. Hello, good morning. You're live on Good Morning Grenada.
Good morning, Mr. Chrissy.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fine. Morning, Mr. Smooth. How are you, Chief?
Hey, I'm doing good. What's up, man?
Just cool, brother. My brother, the church, Sorry for laughing, my brother. That should be demolished a million years ago, the church. 80 people know what the church is all about, my brother. The church was legally involved with slavery.
Where are you calling from?
Excuse me?
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from St. Andrews.
I just want to get perspective.
Right. My brother, the church was involved literally in slavery. So I don't see what the brother is talking about, the bishop, what is that historical evidence, and even though what the church do to black people, I don't even want to get into it. Anytime I get into it, I get emotional, so I will just forget it. I get emotional, what the church does to black people. The church should be compensating black people for slavery, but let's leave that there. I get emotional when I talk about them things. Anyway, smoke alarm. Excuse me, I'm not hearing you?
I said we'll have that conversation, that topic another time.
Yeah, that's no problem, my brother. Let's leave that alone. The smoke alarm should be really introduced into the Grenadian market because smoke alarm do save lives, personally speaking, I find they should pass a law that all residential and commercial buildings should have smoke alarms because smoke alarms do save lives. Because the smoke alarm, as the smoke come up automatically, the alarm will just go off. So I think the smoke alarm should be vital to all residential and commercial buildings should be getting smoke alarm. So I find they should pass a law saying that all smoke alarms should be going up to residential and commercial buildings. So smoke alarm do save lives because the smoke come up automatically, the alarm just go off. Because when I used to live out in the diaspora up in North America, if I didn't have smoke alarm in my house, maybe time so you guys wouldn't be hearing me in Grenada, I'd be born to death, So smoke alarm do save lives, my brother. It was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah,
have a nice day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Beautiful. Okay, beautiful.
Thank you so much. All right, take care.
Welcome.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, it's all about early detection. I think early detection, not just in health, but other aspects of life, really makes a difference in terms of preventing the disaster, right? You really want to get at the hazard as early as possible so you prevent the disaster at the end of the day. And, there's loads of other tips that we can take when it comes to fire safety. We have a quick break we need to take, and we'll be back with more Good Morning Grenada. We'll be talking about a very hot issue, the pension, when we come back. Keep it locked right here, GBN TV K105 on Hot FM.
Please be advised that our office has been relocated to Steele's Commercial Complex, Grandance St. George. We at CGI, Consumers Guarantee Insurance Company Limited, look forward to serving you at our new location. Call us on telephone number 440-0217 or visit our website www.insurecgi.com.
Total is one of the world's largest oil companies with a top quality line of lubricants. Total Lubricants has a full product line from passenger cars, motorcycle, heavy industrial equipment, mining, trucking, agriculture, and manufacturing machines and vehicles. Total Lubricants, winning championships in motorsports, including Formula One and World Rally Championships. Total Lubricants are available at all Rubis service stations, leading automotive shops, and distributed by Huggins.
Do more with your new GUT Credit Union Visa debit card, which gives you access to your cash at any Connex or Visa certified ATMs locally and internationally. Make your payments with a tap of your card using the contactless feature and have the freedom to make purchases locally, online, or overseas whenever you travel, anywhere Visa is accepted. Experience the enhanced security fraud protection through the Visa chip technology. If you don't have your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, speak to any one of our representatives today to do more. Your new GUT Credit Union Visa International debit card, a smarter way to access your cash. More smart, more secure.
level of convenience and comfort awaits you when you shop at Rise and Shine Supermarket and Hardware Supplies, Griffin Lane, Grenville. Convenient, because we are open Sunday to Sunday. We're even at your service on public holidays. Comfort, because we are easily accessible to the physically challenged. Free Wi-Fi is available while you shop, and bags come at no charge. Everyday low prices and excellent customer care. Adequate parking available. We supply everything you can possibly think of. Family and home supplies, fresh meat, vegetables, and personal care products. All brands of cooking gas at affordable prices. You can send in your order, have it pulled, or pick up express.
In this world, feeling lonely. Now you're gone and left me. I just can't get over you not being my lover. If ever we should be together again, I'm gonna hold on to your love. Baby girl, for you I'd haste to the wall, most anything. Just Lord to have mercy, think it over. Baby girl, me a beg loneliness. I come down like a tent and I let think it over. Baby girl, me a beg loneliness. I come down like a tent and I can't get over. This separation can't get over. Some things are right, can't be wrong, can't get over. No matter how hard I try, right now me have to ask a question why. Feeling lonely.
Yes, indeed. We're back inside Good Morning Grenada. It is the Thursday, the 9th of June, 2022. Missy Chrissy here.
Song,
What's that?
About that song.
About you
getting on this morning?
Me? I getting on or the mix getting on? Which one? You know me. I'm all about soca.
Yeah,
soca and a little, a little vibes.
Back in the days of Sugar Mill and thing there, boy.
Oh yeah, days that I can't talk about. All I know for Sugar Mill is go and buy some fish burger and thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know about teenage dance party, Sugar Mill them days.
No, I would have been a baby at that time.
Can I see your ID, please?
My ID? Why? For what reason?
You might be too young to be on this radio.
You think so? Listen, checks. Once I could clear checks, I am here.
Let's quickly go over to Facebook and check some of the comments over there. Peter Mitchell says that the government have to step in, referring to the church building in the Grenville area. Safety first, Peter is also saying. He's also saying maybe the virus, because we alluded to the virus, the mosquito. He said maybe the mosquito was causing viruses.
Like malaria or dengue.
Yeah, that adds a whole new perspective.
It does. It takes away, it makes me feel bad for laughing now.
Yeah, mosquitoes, let's get out of here.
But it's just, it said mosquito infestation. That sounds intense.
Yeah, that sounds like a serious
but there's
problem.
But that's what I'm saying, like way back when, did we not have those solutions because solving a mosquito infestation is actually, there's very clear steps on how to do that. One of the main things is removing stagnant water in the area.
Well, back in them days, swamp and stagnant water and them kind of thing was probably a very, very frequent, popular issue.
And I mean, the old church is fairly close to the water.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know.
Been through that area there,
Yeah. Wow, that's insane that it stopped because of a mosquito. Any other comments from Facebook?
The structure of the building is good. Maybe that is the reason why we want to demolish the building. Is the structure, she's asking. That's Ingrid. Is the structure of the building good? Maybe that is the reason why they want to demolish the building. I don't think there is necessarily they want to demolish it, but I think they are exploring the option of preserving it more than demolishing it.
Well, they said that they're going to do an assessment. I think it's important to recognize that before, we could say whatever we like out of our own opinions, but you have to have something based on facts. And I think that's where the assessment comes in before making a solid decision.
My only appeal in this matter, and you're absolutely right, I'm just saying that let's get on with the business of doing that ASAP. Because, like I said, the building looks dangerously like if it's falling apart. Like it's an ominous look, really and truly. All right.
All right, let's move on to this pension issue. I know it's such a hot issue at this point in time, and it has been in the news. There are some good news for all public servants who retired before 2022, and those planning on retiring in 2022 and 2023 will soon be paid their pension. Now, according to the release from the government, this is how it is going to work. And Gary, I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit of the layout of the pension payments.
Yeah, well, just in case you guys missed it, so Master Control is going to put up the slides on this one. The first one we're going to talk about in terms of this pension payment. All outstanding pension payments to workers who retired long before 2022 will start receiving their payments through a phased approach based on national cash flow. Operative word being cash flow. All right? Okay. So keep that in mind. That's one. Number two, workers who retired before 2022 will begin receiving pension payments this year. Once again, workers who retired before 2022 will begin receiving pension payments this year, as in this year. All right, guys? Good news? All right. Number three, public servants that will retire in 2023 will start receiving their pension payment in 2023. All right, so that is really good news. And we can all say that came in good timing. We know election is just over a week away. All right, so say no more.
Oh boy, I mean, that's very interesting. I thought it was interesting that your slides were actually from the political party and not from the government. Is it that because you said there's a government release as well, but it's also used in promotion for the ruling party because they are, of course, taking up government at this point in time?
Would it have been better if there wasn't green about the thing?
What do you mean?
No, actually, I would think that it came from the government. I mean, you got. Why you think it's from the NMP necessarily? I don't get a concern though. What, repeat it.
Oh no, I saw the slide on the screen that you just showed. Wasn't that an NNP slide?
Well, they are the ruling party.
Yes, but there's a difference between a government branded something and a party branded something.
Well,
do you understand? We have a call on the line. Good morning.
From GIS.
Oh, okay, I understand. No problem. Good morning. You're live.
Good morning to you and your followers. The point you've just made there is a very valuable point. The lines between government and party has been so blurred that many people, including your colleagues, seem not to understand. Our Constitution does not acknowledge political parties. Does not. It doesn't mention anywhere in our Constitution. Governance has nothing to do with parties. So anything that is official and is from the government must be on government stationery. It should be announced either in the parliament or by a government release. There is no validity, and no one should take serious anything that a politician says in a political meeting or that appears on the political material. GIS, for instance, Government Information Service, has no right to use state resources, including the human resources and the equipment and the time, to be in a political meeting. The lines have been so blurred that even every day, intelligent Grenadians have come to lose sight of the difference. And it's a good thing you raised that. Very important. And Gary, please try to understand what she's saying. She's making a very important point. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, caller. I would like to get another caller's perspective on this, but very interesting take. You've raised an answer there, Chrissy, yeah?
Me raise an answer. Listen, I do marketing, so I pay attention to branding on things.
Yeah, that I did not, that did not strike me. Yeah,
so you said the NMP branded on the pension issue came from the Government Information Service.
That's where I copied and pasted that information from.
Okay.
You know, so I am just the messenger here. Yo, come on now.
Yeah. I mean, the timing is obviously great timing.
That's my only question, the timing, right?
The timing is great timing. I know that some people are welcoming this news because it's been, as we've been hearing from our callers, pension issue seems to be one of the hottest issues for this election. So let's hear what you have to say. Call us. The number is 435-2041. What is your take on this issue? We have a call on the line.
Trying to get it.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning, darling. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
I love to listen to program and could educate me. Good piece of information this time morning, sister. And let me ask, do you really believe that man with his pension paying? For me, I don't believe that at all. And GIS, to me, that's my opinion, is NNP Information Service. Have a good morning, my sister.
Thanks a lot, caller.
Thanks for calling.
Yeah, y'all got me on this one though. Y'all got me on my seat with sitting back with my hands up. It's like y'all got me on this one because that did not cross my mind. That now that you guys have brought it up, it becomes a lot more glaring in my eyes. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, 435-2041. We have another caller on the line. You're live.
Hello, morning.
Good morning. What's your take? I'm doing okay. What's your take on this issue?
Mr. Gary, morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Very much like one of your previous callers, Mr. Bernard. I know very well, my good friend. I refer to him as a friend. I'm usually so irritated with that bloodline that we have in this country where people don't understand what a constitution is. But the constitution actually demarcates to the extent that nowhere in the constitution any political party is mentioned or given recognition. And the way political party has been dominating the people's mind, blowing the whole situation, and people are confused or even made ignorant. And where political party and the cohorts, the activists and whoever, doesn't even understand such a thing. And making everybody believe, or so much people believe, I should say, that what the party do for people, or what the party involved in, is the same as government. And y'all should listen to Mr. Bernard, for example, or even me as I'm saying it too, to the extent that you educate people in this country of the differences. Thank you. I'll call back if necessary.
Thank you so much, caller.
Thanks a lot, caller.
I like the promise to call back if necessary.
If necessary.
I like it.
Yes, thanks. You know, that's definitely a very, and I'm happy and I'm proud that we, and in particular Chrissy, brought that to the public's attention because this went straight over my head. I'm afraid, but it's
all good.
Yeah,
let's see.
It's incredible that NMP is now, branding this as a political achievement as opposed to something else.
Good morning. You're live.
Yeah, sorry for calling back. Why there is pussyfooting on this pension issue? I find this pension issue should be done already. Every minute about this pension. I don't understand what is going on, I heard you guys said that something on the phase they should be paying that pension in phase. Let me see, every month they pay 1 million, next month they pay another million, and get rid of that because I find that it's just going along for months and months every day hearing about a pension, and nobody is trying to get rid of this nonsense. I find, it's time to get rid of it and forget it, pay up the people and just forget it. It's not every day hearing about a pension and nothing is doing. Find time to get rid of this and just forget it. Pay it by phase. You pay $1 million this month, you pay another $1 million next month, and you pay another. So how much money they have to pay now? Look, is the guys how much is the pension?
Yeah, It's a phased project and there is no mention of figures.
Excuse me?
It's a phased approach. There is no mention of figures.
Okay. Yeah, because what I'm saying, they should pay it in phase, and because that is just prolonging every day about a pension. So then when I hear that, I just close my radio for a second. I'm not taking on that. So pay it on a phase and just forget it, Let's get rid of that, because that's prolonging too much. Okay, my brother? Okay. It was nice talking to you guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for calling.
The next issue we're going to roll on to, we're going to go to Master Control. Let us play this clip here from the PM and speaking about making this whole issue his legacy. And is it any wonder why just over a week before election that, there is a phased approach to the pension payment issue? Now the Prime Minister wants to make this issue his legacy. Shall we then? Master Control.
Largest and most challenging industrial relation fiscal issue. We have said that we bet, and we said we will not appeal Justice Glasgow pension judgment, and we said also we shall pay the entitled retiring public workers and public officers. That was the commitment of the new National Party's government. Sisters and brothers, this is an irrevocable commitment I made to you. It is a legacy issue for me. In other words, when I leave this job, I want to be remembered for having solved that problem. So believe me when I say yet again, the NNP will find a way and will pay those workers their pension benefit based on the judgment of Judge Glasgow. Therefore, today, I announce as a first stage of implementing that pension judgment, all entitled public officers appointed by the Public Service Commission who will retire in 2022 at the legally accepted retirement age of 60 will be paid their pension during this year 2022. And I make another statement. I say, when the budget is being presented for 2023, at the end of 2022, those public servants that will retire in 2023, the pension payment will be in the budget document that we will bring forth for that year. So those in 2023 will also be paid their payment, sisters and brothers.
And there we have our Prime Minister and leader of the New National Party speaking on the pension issue. I think I understand it in the context that it is one of those things in terms of an election promise. It's like, vote me and this is what we'll do, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I can understand the graphic. I think the issue now is just perhaps the source of it. We have a caller on the line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, I was listening to the program a while ago with the pension business. Why long before election the pension talk like the government have to pay the pension? Why did he pay the pension long since it was brought to court and he lose the case? Why he didn't pay the pension? My friend, I'm appealing to Grenadian. Do not stand up and listen to the lies this government is telling the people. Listen, where I live, right? The land break in a row. Water coming from the top right? Went to the MP for the town of St. George. They had a meeting and a complaint about that. The MP say a retaining wall have to go there. Up to now, I call the Prime Minister Secretary, she tell me go back to them. I call them up to now, and they just keep lying to people. Today, they want to stand up on the podium and tell people a set of lies for people to go back and vote for them. Grenadians, stand up and open all your eyes and see what's going on. The NNP administration lying the Grenadians to go back in power. Stand up and get rid of them. Let the Prime Minister pay the pension and go home. Thank you.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution this morning. We're talking the pension issue. We have another caller on the line. One to the next. Good morning, you're live.
I'm calling back again. Sorry if I'm irritated. But thank you for taking the call. You see, there's a broader issue relative to our Grenadian people and the policy of labor, where to the extent we have a serious problem of wages in this country, people working for almost nothing, so that you never see a profit in working in this country. I've been complaining for a while now, a few years, that we have the most deficient ministry run by one called Peter David in this country that need to solve a whole lot of problems. And part of the solution to that problem is new labor laws. Something that should have been solved already. Given that the Canadian government gave to us an expert who came here and revived the labor laws for us, workers to benefit. So even if you're talking about pension and all this kind of thing, that will have helped to solve part of the problem. Because if you respect the labor laws that are on the books to make workers or help workers to be more satisfied after they work so hard, what we would have had here is the approval by cabinet, where the lady gave to the cabinet the revived labor considerations. It went to cabinet. They rejected it because they complained that there was one statement a mistake made. Whether it's a typographical error or not, I cannot actually say it that way. But here we have instituted in cabinet the Attorney General, who is usually a part of cabinet anyhow. Every cabinet meeting, the Attorney General is supposed to be there. All that should have been done was correct that statement, bring the new labor laws out to the people so that workers' effort would be respected by all and sundry. Right now, we are sitting with the old labor laws in this country that does nothing for workers' satisfaction.
Thank you so much, caller.
We are part of the problem in this country right now.
Thank you so much for your contribution.
Missy, as he spoke about correcting, let me correct something that I stated earlier on, because I'm going through my browsing history here, and I was incorrect. The NNP slides that was played earlier on actually came from the NNP website, not GIS. So, as a matter of full disclosure, let me say that was an error on my part. All right.
Okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that, because of course that seemed strange to me. So that's good that we know exactly where it came from. Thank you so much, Gary. We'll take this one last caller, and then we're gonna lock it off for Good Morning Grenada this morning. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Good morning. I'm following connection with statement made by PM Keith Mitchell. The fact is, if he decides that his party would pay pensioners who retire in 2022, remember, we don't reach half of the year yet, so just a few persons will be involved. And 2023, we just start 2023 yet. The bulk of people who are old are those who retire in 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, all nearly 10 years of retirees. None of these people are being mentioned. His man thinks people are stupid. He is the one that displays his stupidity. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, caller.
Thank you so much for calling.
Yes. Missy, before we wrap it up, let's scroll forward here, because I think this is worth mentioning on the issue that is not an issue, but the importance of not giving up on your dreams. Not giving up on your dreams. So we have a Grenadian in Brooklyn who, at the age of 51, has just fulfilled her college dream and received her diploma after 30 years. So that has made big news in the United States, and she being Grenadian. We thought it fit into, talk about this, or at least make mention of it.
Of course, congratulations to Lynn Thomas. She lives in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, and she's graduating at the age of 51. I absolutely love it. Congratulations to her and, keeping that dream alive. All right, good stuff. She moved to New York when she was 18 and she became a nanny. She was doing that to make a living. So it's good that, she says her heart's dream was to help her community get access to quality health care and healthy food options. I think that's a lovely note to end Good Morning Grenada on. A nice positive note this morning. And of course, reminding you that, of course, the graphic came from the party itself and not the GIS. All right, Gary clarified that for us. So that's important that we ensure that that's something that was mentioned. Thank you so much, Gary, for recognizing that. And we lock it off for today, but we'll see you again tomorrow. It's Missy Chrissy here. You can join us again tomorrow on Good Morning Grenada with Gary, Mr. Smooth, the Hot FM family. Goodbye to you. But of course, the K105, we're rocking with you for a bit. We have the BBC in just a short.
Bye.